Hey guys, what is up, Phoenix? I'm back again in EFT, and we're going to be jumping into customs, but the gameplay isn't necessarily the most important thing today. So what I'll be doing today is, while I run around customs, I'll be having kind of a discussion on the strength changes and what my opinion is on what's occurred with the strength changes over the past couple of days. So to start off with, basically, this patch strength was very, very easy to power level, incredibly easy to power level, and I do mean incredibly easy, like too easy. And there was a hotfix that came out 4 or 5 days after the patch, and that basically made it nigh impossible to level. It took quite a bit in order to properly level it, which was not great. And along with that hotfix, there was an announcement from Battle State that strength will not be reset. That was 2 or 3 days ago, and as of yesterday, I guess, is probably the proper way to time stamp it. As of yesterday, when I'm recording this, there was a podcast, there was a fortnightly podcast, if you want to call it that, and there was an announcement that strength will be reset. So, Battle State going back on their word. I mean, that's, what else is new? In addition to that, though, that happened, strength was reset, and it became literally impossible to level. You can't. It takes 1 billion rubles through grenades, 350 hours of walking, overburdened, just continuous walking, not sprinting, just walking in order to properly level it. Yeah, so, obviously they don't want people to level it. But I have several issues with that. One, strength wasn't that broken. After the hotfix, they've reduced the sprint speed to 25% of what it previously was. Not by 25%, to 25%. And that was fine. Realistically, strength, personally speaking, I grinded it every single patch because it was an enjoyable skill. Not for the sprint speed. The sprint speed was cool and, was no doubt an added benefit. In fact, it was definitely too powerful. There's no way around that. However, the jump and the improvement to your base walking speed were what actually made it worthwhile. And I know a lot of other people, didn't level strength up for the insane sprint speed. I leveled it up on the basis of, one, you can jump over shit that's fucking knee height, which is, super realistic shooter. You should be able to fucking vault. Oh, no, wait, you can't. So that's the only way to get over basic shit, which to some extent you can now, although not to the same extent that you're able to with strength. And 2, the movement speed. The movement speed is, like, this is slower than it should be. If you're in a combat pace, moving through, a scenario, you're going to be walking faster than this. You're not going to be having a fucking dawdle. You're actually going to be putting some decent pace. And, it's incredibly unrealistic to dawdle through a fucking anything. You don't clear a hallway at the slowest possible pace. And, you're not all of a sudden prevented from moving forward because there's a knee-high fucking obstacle. So, I think while that definitely needed to be changed, after the hotfix, it was actually pretty decent. There was a decent stamina boost in terms of sprint speed, but it wasn't insane, and you still retained that added benefit in terms of your base movement speed and being able to hop over shit. Whereas now, everyone's been reset to 0, and you physically can't level it. You're in this kind of just weird space where they have actually increased your base jump and base sprint speed, which is nice in theory, but doesn't always work and doesn't always allow you to hop over what you're trying to hop over. And in addition to that, Jesus Christ, scared the crap out of me. Doesn't always allow you to hop over what you want to hop over, and namely this issue comes into play with the guardrails, which are a massive pain in the ass to hop over. But, the sprint speed's been increased, which is, that's nice, but again, I never really leveled strength for the, the increase in sprint speed. It was nice, and it was cool, but, that jump and the base movement speed increase were what made strength really worthwhile leveling up. it didn't give you a massive advantage in game. It just made the game more enjoyable, because you aren't, you're not confined to moving at a snail's pace, and you can hop over, normal objects. And they've kind of resolved it with the jump. You can jump over, the guardrails on the bridge, for example. But it is a pain in the ass. You have to time it perfectly in order to hop over it, which is yeah, it's a bit much, at least in my opinion. So I don't know. I think overall the update, or the change to how it all works, is it's good on one hand and it's really terrible on another. Strength does need to be reworked. There's no way around that. But they should have done it in a better way. So we'll go make our way over to these guardrails, and I'll show what I'm. I'll try and show off what I'm talking about as best I can. So we can move over without getting shot. I mean, these are fine. These are never really an issue to hop over, but these, on the other hand, are an absolute pain in the ass. And that's the thing. You can vault over this relatively easily. Fuck, if you get some speed, you can jump over this. And while, you can do it if you're timing it properly, it is actually difficult, although I'm not doing a very good job of showing that off. So, I think they're going in a decent direction, by limiting it, but I do think that, your base movement speed definitely needs to be increased. There's no two ways about it. You move way too slow. And, the jump, people were saying, you're jumping 6 feet high. Yeah, you kind of were, which is a little bit bullshit, but unless, they implement a genuine vault mechanic, well, then that's how you're going to have to deal with it. Because the whole verticality was genuinely pretty good. You can't actually get up onto things like this anymore. You can't get to vertical areas, which did add an entire other dynamic to the gameplay. I can't jump up there anymore. Well, I'm sure you probably could actually, through a bit of work, but up here is a definite no-no. And that was an awesome spot to sit there and snipe. It was one of the few spots where you could actually snipe. And having that vertical, element taken away, it kind of, damn it, it detracts from the game quite substantially. So I'm split. On one hand, it does need to be worked. On the other hand, it has kind of ruined the game. It's taken away a lot of aspects of the gameplay, and it's less enjoyable. So I am curious to see what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. And guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow.